May 31st, 2006. Stockholm, Sweden. A teenager's bedroom server is about to become the most hunted machine on Earth. That server hosts the Pirate Bay, a website Hollywood claims cost them $30 billion, used by 25 million people daily, and considered the world's most notorious piracy empire. At dawn, 53 armed police officers storm the data center. They seize every server, every cable, every piece of hardware. It's supposed to be the death blow. By noon, Swedish prosecutors hold victory press conferences. Hollywood executives toast their win. The Pirate Bay is finally dead. But 72 hours later, the Pirate Bay blinks back online as if nothing happened. Its homepage now mocks them. A pirate ship firing cannonballs at Hollywood's sign. Here's what terrified every government and corporation watching. They seized every physical server, arrested the founders, and it still came back. If you can't destroy this, you can't control the internet. How did 3 Swedish hackers build something unkillable? And what did they understand that billion-dollar corporations didn't? Stockholm, 2001. Gottfried Svartholm sits cross-legged on his bedroom floor, watching cables snake from a jury-rigged server under his bed. He's 19 years old, shaggy-haired with a skeptical smile and eyes that light up when discussing cryptography. His online handle is annihilate, a name that will become both legend and curse. In 2003, he teams up with 2 allies, Fredrik Nige and Peter Sunde. Together, they wire together a BitTorrent tracker as a side project for Pirate Byron, an anti-copyright collective operating from a Stockholm warehouse. Their mission: make file sharing frictionless, no gatekeepers, no apologies, and absolutely no tracking logs. Gottfried's home server becomes the beating heart of this experiment. The tracker catches fire faster than any of them predicted. By late 2004, their hobby project has a name, the Pirate Bay, and 40,000 users swapping everything from open-source Linux distributions to Hollywood's latest releases. Every torrent downloaded passes through Gottfried's machine. The bandwidth bills start making his parents nervous. Fredrik suggests they need commercial hosting fast, so they launch PRQ, a hosting company with one rule: we host anything. We keep 0 logs. While competitors fold under legal pressure, PRQ wears takedown notices like merit badges. The New York Times later describes them as highly secure, no questions asked operators with considerable expertise in withstanding legal attacks. Translation: bring your lawsuits if you can. We dare you. The dares pile up quickly. In February 2004, DreamWorks attorneys send a cease and desist, demanding removal of Shrek 2 torrents. Gottfried's response becomes internet folklore. Sweden is not a state in the United States of America. For your information, no Swedish law is being violated. It is the opinion of us and our lawyers that you are morons. He suggests the Hollywood lawyers perform a anatomically creative act, then signs off, "Go fuck yourself." Polite as usual, annihilate. Instead of cowering, the Pirate Bay posts the entire exchange on their homepage. The letter goes viral. Traffic to the site triples overnight. Every legal threat becomes free advertising for their outlaw brand. By mid-2005, the Pirate Bay is managing traffic that would make most tech startups envious. The site runs on code. Gottfried writes mostly alone, including a custom tracker called Hypercube that coordinates file sharing across millions of machines simultaneously. At peak, 25 million peers worldwide connect through the Pirate Bay's infrastructure, enough traffic to rank among the internet's top 100 sites. The interface stays deliberately bare: a search bar, a pirate ship logo, and an ocean of content. But under that simplicity, Gottfried architects something approaching digital immortality. Every new user makes the network harder to destroy. Every shared file creates redundancy. It's not a website anymore. It's a living organism, growing faster than anyone can regulate it. The Motion Picture Association of America watches this growth with mounting fury. Their lawsuits against individual downloaders aren't working. The real target is the infrastructure making it all possible, and that infrastructure has a home address in Sweden. By early 2006, MPA lobbyists are working Swedish diplomatic channels, pushing officials to act. Emails fly between Hollywood and Stockholm. Pressure builds. Swedish authorities, normally hands-off about internet regulation, start feeling heat from across the Atlantic. The government wants this problem gone. May 2006. Gottfried's phone vibrates with a warning from a contact inside Sweden's telecom industry. Police are mobilizing. He calls Fredrik. They've wargamed this scenario for months. Their disaster recovery plan is simple. Database backups sit encrypted on servers in the Netherlands, ready to deploy. If the main infrastructure falls, they'll rebuild the Pirate Bay before Swedish TV finishes the evening news. Gottfried has spent 2 years making sure the site's entire existence can fit on a thumb drive and resurrect anywhere with electricity and bandwidth. Now, at dawn, that preparation will be tested by 53 armed officers. The raid is coming in hours. But here's what nobody in law enforcement understands yet. They're about to seize hardware, while the data, the only thing that matters, is already halfway to Amsterdam. May 31st, 2008, 5:47 a.m. The first door goes down in Bredäng, a Stockholm suburb where a bandwidth provider houses the Pirate Bay's primary servers. Officers move in synchronized teams. 10 locations hit simultaneously. In the server room, metal racks get unplugged mid-operation. Hard drives slide into evidence bags. Technicians stand frozen, hands raised, as police haul out equipment on wheeled dollies. Gottfried Svartholm and Fredrik Nye are handcuffed and driven to separate interrogation rooms. By 1100 a.m., Swedish television is running breaking news. Notorious piracy website shut down. The police spokesperson tells cameras they've dismantled a major criminal operation. On forums worldwide, panic spreads. In Stockholm, hundreds rally in Mynttorget Square, waving pirate flags and chanting, "Free the Bay." It looks like Hollywood scored a clean knockout. The Pirate Bay's URL returns only error messages. MPAA representatives issue statements congratulating Swedish authorities on their decisive action against digital theft. Rights holders calculate lost revenue they believe will now return. But nobody is counting on what happens next. June 2nd, 2006. Just after midnight, whispers circulate online. The site is back. Users refresh their browsers. The homepage loads. The pirate ship logo now has a new detail. It's firing cannonballs at a hillside sign labeled Hollywood. Across the top, a message: the galaxy's most resilient BitTorrent site. In the raid's confusion, Gottfried's team had executed their contingency plan flawlessly. They migrated the complete database to servers in Amsterdam, rerouted DNS, and brought everything online in 72 hours. The police seized the hardware, but they couldn't touch the community or the code that actually mattered. Peter Sunde, the site's public face, holds a press conference from his Stockholm apartment. Reporters crowd around his laptop. The downtime wasn't fear, he explains, grinning. We were scaling up infrastructure to handle all the new traffic you journalists just sent us. He's not exaggerating. The raid has become the greatest advertising campaign in Pirate Bay history. Traffic explodes, doubling, then tripling pre-raid numbers. The site crashes repeatedly from surge load, not police action. Gottfried and Fredrik work 20-hour shifts stabilizing servers. Hollywood tried to kill them and accidentally made them invincible. Behind the scenes, they're hardening the operation for the next assault. Multiple mirror sites go live across Europe and Asia. The codebase gets modularized, designed to deploy on any server in any country within hours. They distribute backup copies to trusted admins in 6 nations. When a Swedish journalist asks how they'll survive the next raid, Fredrik doesn't hesitate. We have plans in other countries. We're not stupid. The swagger is earned. They're treating law enforcement as just another network problem to route around. Swedish prosecutors, embarrassed, double down. They comb through seized evidence, building a criminal case. Meanwhile, the Pirate Bay posts the actual police warrant on their homepage with sarcastic margin notes. LOL. Good luck with that. Try harder. The trolling is relentless. Users send donations. Traffic climbs to 30 million visits daily. What started under Gottfried's bed now runs on infrastructure spanning 3 continents. The raid meant to destroy them has transformed the Pirate Bay into a global phenomenon. In Los Angeles, New York, York, and London, executives are livid. If a sovereign nation's police can't keep a piracy site down for even 3 days, what does that mean for control of the internet? Boardrooms fill with lawyers drafting new strategies. Political pressure intensifies. New laws get proposed. The hunters are regrouping, and this time, they're targeting the people, not the servers. A trial is coming that will decide more than just the fate of 3 Swedish hackers. It will test whether the old rules of copyright can survive the age of decentralized networks. February 16, 2009. Stockholm District Court. 4 men sit at the defense table. Gottfrid, pale and smirking. Fredrik Nij, arms crossed. Peter Sunde, tweeting in real time. Carl Lundström, the older businessman who bankrolled early infrastructure. They dub it the Spectacle Trial, a proceeding designed to be spectacle. They look less like criminals and more like a band showing up for a gig. The prosecution frames them as criminal masterminds who facilitated millions of copyright violations and earned millions in ad revenue. The defense argues the Pirate Bay was perfectly legal under Swedish law, an index, not a host. They never stored copyrighted files, only torrent links. Outside, protesters in pirate hats rally. Inside, every seat is filled with journalists from 30 countries. The trial swings between technical minutiae and philosophical warfare. A prosecutor attempts to explain BitTorrent technology and mangles the details so badly that Gottfrid interrupts from the defense table to correct him, drawing laughter from the gallery. Entertainment industry lawyers present charts claiming billions in damages. User letters flood the court describing how the Pirate Bay gave them access to culture they couldn't otherwise afford: documentaries, textbooks, rare films. The judge asks pointed questions about profit motives. The defense points out that ad revenue barely covered hosting costs. Peter Sunde blogs the entire proceeding, turning the trial into a daily serial for his 100,000 followers. April 17, 2009. Judgment Day. The courtroom is standing room only. The judge reads the verdict. Guilty on all counts of assisting copyright infringement. Each defendant receives 1 year in prison. Collectively, they owe 30 million Swedish kroner, roughly $3.6 million. The judge's tone is stern, clearly intended to send a message to anyone watching. Within minutes, the Pirate Bay's homepage updates its logo to a tape-mouthed Mickey Mouse, a silent protest against what they call Disney-backed censorship. Peter Sunde tells reporters the sentence is bicycle locking, meaningless punishment for a victimless crime. Gottfrid is notably absent when the verdict is read. That absence is foreshadowing. Appeals begin immediately. Under Swedish law, convictions aren't final until appeals exhaust. Nobody goes to prison yet. In November 2010, the appeals court delivers a mixed ruling. Prison terms get slightly reduced for bedeviled. Some defendants, but damages skyrocket to 46 million kroner, over $7 million. It's an impossible sum for 4 guys in their 20s. You can't squeeze blood from a stone, Sunde writes on his blog, pledging that not a single krona will be voluntarily paid. Sweden's Supreme Court refuses to hear further appeals in 2011. The sentences are now final and enforceable. When authorities arrive to collect the defendants, one is missing. Gottfrid has vanished. Officially, he missed his appeal hearing due to illness. Unofficially, Swedish media reports he's fled to Cambodia. Fredrik Nij relocates to Laos with his wife. Peter Sunde eventually turns himself in after a farewell tour, speaking at hacker conferences. Carl Lundström serves his brief term under house arrest. But Gottfrid, the architect, the coder, the engineer who built the machine, he's gone completely dark. Interpol red notices go out. Swedish diplomats contact Southeast Asian governments. How do you arrest a ghost who lives on encrypted communication and moves through countries without extradition treaties? Months pass. Occasional sightings surface. A Swedish expat claims they saw Gottfrid at a Phnom Penh internet cafe, hunched over a ThinkPad. WikiLeaks later acknowledges Svartholm helped build infrastructure for their 2010 cable leaks. He's living exactly like the ideology he coded: stateless, mobile, impossible to pin down. The Pirate Bay, meanwhile, refuses to die with its founders. In 2012, the site makes a radical evolution. It abandons torrent files entirely, switching to magnet links. A torrent file is a physical target, something police can seize or block. A magnet link is just a text string, a hash. You can't confiscate an equation. No torrent files means less legal hassle, more resilience. The site's blog announces the change makes the Pirate Bay leaner and nearly impossible to target. They release a compressed backup of the entire site database, just a few gigabytes. Any user can download it and spin up a clone in minutes. The site has become a distributed organism, designed to survive even if every original server burns. By late 2011, traffic to the Pirate Bay remained steady at record highs. The convictions didn't slow it. The raids didn't stop it. Gottfried's creation has outgrown him. It doesn't need its founders to survive. August 30th, 2012, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. A joint task force, Swedish officials and Cambodian police, moves on a waterfront apartment in the capital. The door splinters. Inside, they find a bearded 27-year-old hunched over a laptop, surrounded by empty energy drink cans and takeout containers. Gottfried Svartholm is arrested without resistance. Within 72 hours, he's on a flight back to Stockholm, deported at Sweden's urgent request. But Swedish prosecutors have bigger plans than just the copyright conviction. They suspect his time off-grid wasn't just hiding. They believe he was hacking. New charges hit before he even finishes processing. Into prison, unauthorized access to Swedish government databases, and attempted bank fraud. Investigators allege that between 2010 and 2012, while Gottfried was supposedly a fugitive laying low, someone using his computers breached servers at Logica, an IT contractor managing Sweden's tax authority systems. The intrusion accessed national tax IDs for thousands of Swedes and attempted to issue fraudulent driver's licenses. Even more audacious, evidence suggests an attempt to penetrate Nordea bank systems and initiate unauthorized transfers. The narrative shifts. Gottfried isn't just a copyright rebel anymore. He's being framed as a black hat hacker threatening state infrastructure. Gottfried denies everything. His defense is technical and specific. His laptop was compromised by unknown parties who used it as a proxy. "I was a puppet," he tells his lawyer, presenting forensic evidence that malware was found on his machine. Someone remote-controlled his computer to conduct attacks while he was in Cambodia. It's plausible. Security researchers confirm his system was infected, but prosecutors argue he's sophisticated enough to have staged that infection himself. The trial in 2013 is technical, dense, and divided. The Swedish court delivers a split verdict: guilty of hacking into Logica systems and accessing confidential government data. Insufficient evidence on the Nordea bank charges. That count gets dismissed. The sentence, 2 years in prison, later reduced to 1 year on appeal. Importantly, the judgment acknowledges his computer was compromised by external actors at certain points. But the court rules he still bears responsibility for the government data breach. As he begins serving time in a Swedish prison, another country is preparing their own case. Denmark has been investigating a devastating hack of their own. In 2012, someone breached CSC, a major IT contractor managing Danish police databases and social security systems. The intrusion stole personal identification numbers for millions of Danish citizens and accessed sensitive law enforcement records. It's one of the worst cybersecurity breaches in Scandinavian history. Danish investigators trace chat logs and digital fingerprints to a familiar alias, Anakata. In late 2013, as Gottfried finishes his Swedish sentence, Denmark requests extradition. He's immediately transferred to Copenhagen and placed in solitary confinement. The Danish trial in October 2014 is intense and unforgiving. Prosecutors present evidence of a 6-month intrusion into CSE's mainframes. His defense doubles down on the evil twin theory. The real person behind those IRC chat handles wasn't Gottfried at all. His co-defendant, a 21-year-old Danish hacker, testifies he met the true Anakata, and it wasn't Svartholm. It's a bold strategy, claiming someone else used Gottfried's alias and equipment to commit the crimes. The jury doesn't buy it. The forensic evidence is overwhelming. Stolen CSC data on his drives, access patterns matching his known equipment, chat logs using his distinctive phrasing. On October 27, 2014, the guilty verdict arrives. The sentence is crushing. 3.5 years in prison, the harshest hacking sentence in Danish history at that point. His co-defendant, portrayed as a minor accomplice, receives a lenient sentence and walks free with time served. Gottfried, hearing the verdict, shows no emotion. 3 years of running, 2 trials, and multiple convictions have drained the fight from his face. September 2015. Gottfried walks out of a Danish prison, thin and hardened. Denmark attempts to deport him immediately, but Swedish police rearrest him on the prison steps for a final 1-month sentence, bureaucratic leftovers from the hacking convictions. By December 2015, all debts are paid. He's finally free. His mother meets him at the gates, telling reporters he just wants to sit by a keyboard again after 3 years away from one. Gottfried Svartholm has lived the complete hacker narrative: creation, glory, exile, conviction, imprisonment, release. And the Pirate Bay? Still online, still serving torrents from servers hosted in locations authorities can't easily reach, maintained by anonymous admins and true believers. The site has outlived multiple raids, dozens of domain seizures, and the imprisonment of all 3 founders. It's not as dominant as it once was. Streaming services and fragmented file sharing have changed the landscape, but type the URL and you'll find it, or one of countless proxies still sailing. The Pirate Bay proved a brutal lesson. You can't kill what has no center. Traditional enforcement relies on finding headquarters to raid, executives to arrest, servers to seize. But what happens when your target is a philosophy, distributed across millions of computers in hundreds of countries? The hunters learned that destroying infrastructure is meaningless when the community can resurrect it anywhere, that imprisoning founders doesn't matter when anonymous volunteers maintain the code, that blocking domain names is futile when mirror sites spawn faster than you can shut them down. The Pirate Bay forced a reckoning. It showed that 20th century copyright law couldn't survive contact with 21st century technology. The entertainment industry eventually adapted, not by winning legal battles, but by creating services like Spotify and Netflix that were more convenient than piracy. But the fundamental question remains unanswered. In an age where information can be copied infinitely at zero cost, what does ownership even mean? Today, the same principles that made the Pirate Bay unkillable power, cryptocurrency networks, encrypted messaging apps, and decentralized platforms that no government can control. Gottfried Svartholm and his co-founders didn't just build a piracy site. They built a proof of concept for the future of the internet itself, distributed, resilient, impossible to censor. And that terrifies every institution that depends on controlling information. The Pirate Bay isn't just a website, it's an idea, and you can't arrest an idea. The battle between centralized control and distributed networks is far from over. From government censorship to corporate surveillance, the fight for internet freedom continues every day. If you found this story fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden history of the internet and technology. Drop a comment below. Do you think the Pirate Bay was justified in challenging copyright law, or did they cross the line? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.